guys, Laurie here. It is about 5:14 on October 24th. I have had a little bit of a weird reading week. I have struggled a little bit and I was really craving some historical romance. And normally I focus October on reading a lot of like spooky and freaky reads. And I'm going to do that next week as the tail end because we're in the middle of Halloween week and I just need something to escape from the insanity of the world. But for the next 24 hours, I am going to try to read some historical romances. So the first one that is on my immediate TBR is The Duke and I by Julia Quinn. This is book one in the Bridgerton series, and the reason this has become a little bit more of a pressing concern for me is because the Bridgerton series is coming to Netflix in Christmas Day, and I want to have somewhat of an understanding of that series before I start the show. I also did read the prequel series, Here Comes Scandal, and I wound up liking that. So I feel like reading this one might be a little bit more prevalent because I do want to watch the TV show in a little bit. And it just sounds fun. I've heard great things about Julia Quinn's writing. So that's what I'm gonna start with. And if I for some reason speed through that, I also have Do You Want to Start a Scandal by Tessa Dare. I bought a bunch of them on my Kindle the past couple of weeks. So I have quite a few that I might read, but those two are the ones that I'm going to start with. So I'm going to start with Duke and I, and then if I wind up finishing that, I'll probably do You Want to Start a Scandal. I also have When a Scot Ties a Knot and a couple of other ones, but those two are my primary focuses. So I'm going to go start that, and then I will update you guys when I read a little bit of it. Bye. Guys, Laurie here, I'm back. It's about 6:19. I have to admit, this is a book I'm really, really liking. So normally in historical romances, you follow two major characters. So you follow this young boy named Simon, and it actually starts in the past, right when he was born. His mother has had a lot of health issues, and she kept having miscarriages and stillbirths. And he was the last one, and he was the one that actually survived. But he had a very, very hard time stuttering in his life and talking, and his father, the Duke, really ostracized him and didn't want anything to do with him. And as someone that did stutter as a child, that was a particularly heartbreaking scene to see how this father related to his son. So you have that, and then you kind of flash forward where you follow the Bridgerton family, which is about 8 kids, and you follow Daphne in this one. And Daphne is a little bit over. She has a couple of seasons of courting. She hasn't really found anyone that she loves. She's had a couple of marriage proposals, but nothing has really clicked. And her brother is and her brother and her mother are very much not forcing her to get married, which I do approve of. But then you also have this element that is a society page, which is kind of very gossipy girl, where they kind of take what's happening in formal society and kind of write a paper about it. So I assume their paths are going to cross at some point. I will say I'm really liking the character so far. I've only read about 31 pages, but I'm really liking it. It's definitely captivating. I like strong female characters, but I especially like them in this world, in this time period, because women were not that was women had one job, was to get married and have babies. So I almost like when women become in their own and take their own lives and their own fun for the and they go on that path, because I think it's very, very interesting and very, very compelling. But I really am a big fan of very, 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 very fun romances. So I'm going to go back to reading, and I'll update you guys when I read a little bit more. But so far, good elements. Very, very good elements. I just want to do another update. It's 7:27. I also was frantically listening to Alexa and Mackie, who reviewed the Book of the White from Cassie Clare and Wesley Chu, which I immediately bought because it has the whole gang back together. Simon, Izzy, Chase, and Clary. And I love those gangs so much. And it's set after Simon's at the academy. And I heard that it's a really good book for him. So definitely bought that. That's probably going to be my next listen after I finish Don't Look Back, which I'm going to try to make a little bit more listening progress on tomorrow. Speaking of Simon, though, this book, the lead is named Simon, and I am immediately fall in love with anyone named Simon because of the Mortal Instruments series. So again, I really love good guys in books, and that's what I'm getting from Simon in this book. And I think Regency romance books you always tend to have a boy that like no one understands except for your lead girl. And I really like Daphne in this book a lot. I think she's very, very fun. I like that it's a big family of a bunch of different siblings and they all have different dynamics with each other. And I still like the society page. I still like that. I still like how there's like kind of like a Gossip Girl like element to this. And I think that that's going to feed in so wonderfully to the TV show on Netflix coming up. So I'm going to go back to reading and I'll update you guys when I can. Bye. Here I'm back. It's about 11:34. I did wind up reading about 100 pages in this book. I think I'm on like 191. I'm really quite fond of this family. I am really liking the characters. I'm loving the dynamics between them. You're definitely spying some early sexual tension, which I always like. But the one highlight about this book is that you get both characters' point of views. I think I've said this before. In YA contemporaries or any novels, I tend to like when you get both characters' point of views because I think it expands the worlds a lot. I noticed that in majority of the Regency romances I have read, you did get both characters' point of views, which I'm quite fond of, and I'm really liking it. I really don't want to put the book down. It's quite fun and very, very captivating. I'm also like watching YouTube videos and making my Christmas list, which my parents keep begging me to make. So that's super cool as well. But yeah, so I'm gonna go back to reading and I'll update you guys when I read another 50 pages. Bye. Here I'm back. It's about 9:43 and I'm still reading, which if you've been following most of my reading vlogs since I started this channel, I don't always read past 9. I get super tired. But this book is super captivating and I am watching a lot of YouTube videos, which is helping with my Christmas planning for everyone that buys me gifts because I tend to ask for a lot of reads and I'm just kind of watching and noting stuff down, which is good. But I'm really liking this book. I'm about 131 pages in, which is not that far because it's a 400 page book. But it did introduce a trope that I wasn't necessarily expecting. I don't want to like. Okay, there's fake dating, I'll say, like in this world, like before courting, and I always like a fake dating trope, like always. And I'm just liking both characters a lot. I really like the Bridgerton. They have a very, very big family, and if you don't know, I'm an only child, so I have no siblings. But I always love reading about books where there are a lot of siblings because I feel like I don't have that in my life. Like I have some cousins and stuff, and we were super close growing up, but I like that like we kind of see that, and I just really like the big family. And it's just very, very fun. I think that they're two very, very fun characters. You consistently see Simon stuttering rear its ugly head in this book, and as someone that has stuttered and does stutter, it does make appearances in your life even as you grow older. And I'm just really, really quite fond of the characters. I'll be very honest. I love that her older brothers are super protective, and it's great. It's a book that I really do like the characters. And the past Regency romances, I didn't feel that way about the characters. But this one I'm really, really liking it. So I'm gonna try to read a little bit more tonight. Maybe get up to page at least 200 and see how far I can go. I'm going to try to read as much as I can tonight and see how late I can actually stay up. But I'm going to go back to reading and I'll update you guys when I can. Bye. Or when I make a little bit more progress. So right here, it's about 10:12. I did wind up getting up to page about, I think it's like 100, about exactly 150 in The Duke and I. I'm really enjoying it. It's quite fun. It's quite of a fun read with historical elements, and there's also a very, really big family. There is some fun, family stuff. There's also like fake dating involved in the Regency era. Just super fun. So my goal is to read like 50 more pages. I have been watching a lot of booktube videos, but I think I'm gonna put on like a true crime video that I've seen like 1,000 times and just kind of tackle the rest 50 more pages, and then I'm probably gonna go watch some Julie and the Phantoms. But definitely fun. I'm really liking it. It's the perfect book, especially because I had a little bit of a struggling reading week. If you see my past reading vlog, I struggled a little bit deciding what I wanted to read this week, but this was actually a really good decision. So I'm going to go read about 50 more pages, and then I'll give you guys probably a couple of updates while I do that. Bye, guys. Here, it's about 10:34. Sorry for the weird lighting. I just don't feel like turning on the light right now. But I went up reading up to page 170. I'm right at the middle point of it. So it is really fun, really entertaining. I'm liking that we have such a big cast of characters, and I like how each character probably is going to get their own book eventually. Really like the characters. There's a building of sexual tension. I like that we're getting both characters' point of views. I will check out you guys tomorrow when I wake up, and hopefully I'll get to finish this book. My goal is to finish this book by tomorrow. That's my goal. I think I definitely have a shot. I'm also going to keep doing my Christmas list. I'm going to do some Christmas crafting tomorrow, which I'm really excited about. But I'm going to go watch a little bit of Julie and the Tantrums on my rewatch, and I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Lori here, I'm back. It is about 12 o'clock. I just got home from going to yoga. I'm about to start some Christmas crafting. I did listen to a little bit more of Don't Look Back by Jennifer L. Armentrout. I have about 5 hours left. I definitely am really liking my reread of that. It's been a while since I actually read that. And I also ended up reading about 20-30 pages in The Duke and I by Julie Quinn. I'm really enjoying that one as well. Two very, very fun reads. So I'm going to give myself about an hour to Christmas craft because the holidays are fast approaching and I want to actually get my Christmas crafting done a little bit early, especially if I have to send people gifts, which is not what I normally do, but this year might be the exception due to quarantine and all that other stuff. So I want to try to get my calendars done early, so if I have to give stuff out a little bit earlier, I actually have time. My goal for today is to do about an hour of Christmas crafting. I have a little bit of a longer YouTube video to watch. It's like true crime, but I'm going to put it on in the background. I did finish watching Home Edit, my organization reality show that I was watching. So after I finish this one, I'll probably choose another one. I have the Marie Kondo one on my watch list and also another one. And a lot of baking ones that are all on Netflix, which I like because they're a little bit crafty and this is a creative endeavor. But yeah, I have to go set up. I had to restart my computer, so I lost all my videos that I had to watch for Fun Stuff later, which will help me plan my Christmas gifts. Sorry, this is a little bit of a longer update. I had filmed it once, and then it got deleted. So I am going to go do that, and when I come back, I will be ready to read. And yeah, hopefully I'll be able to finish my book today. Hope you guys like this 24 hours of reading, which is why I'm doing a lot more updates than I normally do. Talk to you guys in a bit. Bye. Here, I did wind up getting up to 50% done, and I'm on page 225 in The Duke and I am so intrigued. I'm really, really enjoying this book. I love that there's a big family of characters. I love that there was some sexy moments in the book. I really like the courting in this time period. I love Daphne as a character. I love Simon as a character. I love how we have this Gossip Girl-like element. And whenever they talked about, like, you know, it started out fake dating and now it might become something more. So I am so intrigued. I am going to give myself a couple of, like, minutes to, like, organize my life. I'm going to go for a small bike ride and listen to my audiobook for about 20 minutes. And then when I come back, I'm going to dive back into The Duke and I because I'm really excited to keep reading. And I'll update you guys when I'll update you guys when I when I listen to a little bit more of my audiobook to let you guys know my thoughts about Don't Look Back. But that book's getting really good. This book is getting really good, and I am super excited. Here it's about 2:43. I did wind up doing a 20-minute bike ride on my new bike that I got from my parents, which we bought it together. But just because it is going to get cold eventually here in New York, and the gyms are currently not open, or if they are open, I don't feel comfortable going to them right now. But I did that. I wound up getting up to the part that I remember. I know the end of Don't Look Back. I do know that. And I know, like, the subtle pieces that get there, but there's some things I just totally have forgotten. But I really do love Sam and Carson's relationship in that book. It's definitely like a second chance romance, but it has an added twist of she does not know who she is. So I really like that. It's a cool concept for a novel. A YA thriller. I'm really liking that. I'm going to go read a little bit more of The Duke and I. I'm on page 225 and I'm really, really liking it. It has some of my favorite elements. I love fake dating. I love the Regency time period. I think it's so fascinating. And I love dual point of view. I also love that there's like a gossip columnist. It kind of reminds me of Gossip Girl, which I read those books. I didn't actually watch the TV show, but I read the books a while ago. So yeah, it's just quite a fast-paced read. And this book is like 440 pages. So if I read, hopefully I'll read it a little bit quickly, like as I've been doing it, but also going to put on some YouTube videos as background noise, make my Christmas list, and I will update you guys when I read probably like 2 more chapters. Bye guys. Right here, I am back. I did wind up reading up to page 257 in The Duke and I. This is going to be my third full historical Regency romance that I read. And the one thing I haven't seen in any of them is a marriage, like an actual marriage. So I'm really liking that's a part of it, and it's just really, really enjoyable. I'm really, really liking, very, very fast paced. I love the big family. I love how the marriage was developed. I think that that's super cool. I actually have to go eat, but I'll come back. I'll give you guys more of my thoughts. Bye. Back. But yeah, I'm on page 257. I really am liking the characters in this book. I think also like they're actually like in Regency romances, sex is like a very, very taboo topic. So I like the sex talk that the mother had with the daughter. I think that's super fun and interesting, and probably how it really happened in Regency time. But I also like that there's a lot of different characters that you kind of fall in love with, and just knowing that all these characters eventually get their own books is something that I love. I love companion books in like contemporary YA. So I like that there's contemporary like companion books also in Regency romances. But yeah, so I'm going to go read about what happens after the wedding. Sorry, this is a little bit of a spoiler reading vlog, but I know the TV show's coming out, so, and this isn't what I normally read, but I really am liking it. I'm quite fond of it. So I'm gonna go back to reading, and I'll update you guys when I read about another 50 pages. Bye. Here, I keep changing my angle because I was leaning on my arms and it started to hurt. But I did wind up getting up to chapter 16 and page, oh, it's not going to tell me. I think it's like about 300 that I got up to. I'm really liking this book. It's definitely taking an unexpected twist. Like they got married and now there's a bunch of stuff that she's learning a lot more about his past, which I think that he is not going to like. Because he dealt with a lot of stuff in his past that she's like unaware of. But it's very much like a I just like the time period. I really like books set in this time period. I try to find a few like YA contemporary, like YA fantasy set in this time period, because I do like Regency time period. I think it very much challenges your female characters in a lot of different ways, and they have to become super independent, but they have to like let it work with the society that they're in. But yeah, I'm really, really enjoying it. I think I definitely like the romance between Daphne and Simon. Very, very fun. And I also like that you get to see like the other characters. The elements of the gossip columnist is still very, very prevalent. And I heard a rumor that in the TV show is going to be voiced by Julie Andrews, which I think is pretty awesome. But I'm going to go back to reading, and I'll update you guys when I read about 50 more pages. Right now I'm on page 180. So talk to you guys in a bit. Right here, I'm back. I am going to take a little bit of a reading break. I'm going to kind of do my last minute errands for work. I'm going to toss in my audiobook, and I'll come back and we will chat how many pages I have left in this read and see if I'm able to finish it tonight. I also want to post some of my other reading blogs that I've been waiting to do. So I'm going to go do that, and I'll talk to you guys in a little bit. Bye. Here, I'm back. It's about 6:18. I have about an hour and a half left of my book, so I'm going to go read that. There is a lot going on in this book. It's not just a steamy Regency romance. There is a lot of character development that I'm loving. I feel super connected to the characters, and I like that you see how different they are and you see how these things kind of go forward, and I think it's very, very fun. It's probably one of my favorite Regency romances I've read. I've only read 3 of them, but I definitely really like this couple a lot. I think that the Bridgertons and the way Julia Quinn writes these romances are so captivating and so fun. So I'm going to go back to reading, and when I read about 50 more pages, I'll probably update you guys. Talk to you guys in a bit. Bye. Right here, it's about 6:51. I did wind up getting up to page 347 in The Duke and I, and I'm on chapter 19, 75% done. I'm on page 347, and I have to get up page to 440, which is basically 100 more pages. This book definitely took like a very dramatic turn that I was like not expecting, like at all. I'm intrigued to see where it goes. There's a lot happening with Simon, and I think he's dealing with a lot. So Daphne made some very interesting choices that I wasn't necessarily expecting. I don't think that they're good choices, but I'm curious like how it develops. And it's also super interesting because this person, like this Gossip Girl character, is not where they are, so her commentary is a little bit interesting as well. Really, really liking it though. So I'm going to go back to reading, and hopefully I'll be able to update you guys when I read another 50 pages. But again, Definitely one of my favorite Regency romances I've read. I'm captivated. I like the characters. Reminds me a little bit of um When Scandal Came, or Once Comes Scandal, or the other one I read this month. It has another like adventure, like they kind of go somewhere else and they're kind of away from their family. So definitely a different dynamic, but I really do like this book series. So I'm gonna go back to reading and I'll update you guys when I read about 50 more pages. Bye. Here, just checking back in. I did wind up reading a little bit more. I'm on page 385. Definitely took a turn in the positive direction, I'll say that. And I think that Daphne made some really good points. And I always like in Regency romances when the women have more power than they think that they do. And I think in this book that really came through between Daphne and Simon. Really, really interesting. I've never read a character like Simon before in contemporary novels or in historical novels, and I thought it was a really interesting to give him such a complex issue like stuttering and something that like has deals with so many kids on a daily basis. Thought that was great. I really like their romance. I like how her family is so busybody and just kind of gets involved in her life. She has 3 older brothers, a bunch of younger sisters, and I can tell that this is a series that I will want to read more books like ASAP because it's just so captivating and every book follows a different brother or sister in this one family, and I'm really, really enjoying it. So my goal is to finish the rest of this book tonight. I hope I will be able to. That's my goal. So I'm going to go back to reading and I'll update you guys when I can. Guys, Lori here, I'm back. I've actually got up to the epilogue of The Duke and I, which means this book is much shorter than I thought it was going to be, which is not surprising because they always have extra material like at the end of it. But oh my goodness, it was such a great read. I'm going to read the epilogue, but this book definitely did not go in the direction I was expecting. It actually did include one of my plot points that I'm hunting for in historical romances, so that was kind of cool. I really love the characters. I love the diversity of them. I thought that Simon as a lead was really unique and really different. I really like the Bridgerton family as well. I'm going to really love like diving into more of those books. I'm going to try to read the second one in November. I'm going to add it to my my historical fiction week that I have that I'm going to plan on reading from. But I'm going to go finish the rest of this book and then I'm going to come back here and wrap up my 24 hours of reading. Bye guys. I'm actually here to wrap up this reading vlog. I actually did wind up finishing The Duke and I and the short story, which is set like 17 years into the future, which I wound up really, really liking. That another has a trope that I just super liked. Overall, I thought this book was so well done. I think it really set up a very nice romance, but also kind of set up a family of romances that I'm really excited to dive into. I think I will definitely be so excited to dive into this show on Netflix in December when it comes out. It's a Shonda Rhimes show, and I also like that the end kind of teased the identity of the person who writes the gossip columns. I just thought it was so much fun. I really liked how Simon was a very, very different type of hero. I just thought the relationship was so fun, and I'm really excited to see where the series goes in the future. So I'm actually here to wrap up this reading vlog, and I will check you out for my next reading vlog, which will be a bunch of spooky reads in honor of Halloween. So I will see you guys for my next reading vlog. Let me know what is one genre that you have been gravitating more to recently. Or this year in general. Historical and Regency romances is one that I did not think I would ever like, but due to some recommendations from Alexa, Super Space Chick, and Peruse Project, and Peace Love Books, I kind of added it to my TBR, and I actually wound up really, really liking them. But yeah, so I hope you guys like this reading vlog. Let me know what you are currently reading in the comments, and I'll talk to you guys soon.